So, I don't know if you heard, but everything is racist now, apparently. Weather, Black Lives Matter UK, made of white hippies, reminds us that black clouds are politically incorrect. We have to call them coloured clouds now. Weather and climate is racist. If you don't want to get your kids microchipped, that's pedophobic and sexist. And you're supposed to be liberal and tolerant of people's bigotry and ridiculous regressive attitudes. No. No. And the UN isn't going to have the internet and enforce these ridiculous regressive attitudes because we're not having political correctness anymore. We are the generation that destroys it, and our children after us will further stamp it into the ground and crush it dead. And really, I want to thank the far right, because the far right are the only ones with common sense. In fact, that's what far right even means. Anyone who supports the New World Order agenda and global corporatism is supposedly liberal and left-wing. And everyone who actually wants to protect their societies and secure their borders from Islamic terrorism, say, for example, is a radical far right. Yeah, of course they are. That's not what far right means. Far right is what Hitler was. It's nothing to do with rejecting the EU or rejecting the open society fascism of George Soros. It's nothing to do with that at all. So I know this is going to come as a huge shock, but we've been lied to by our politicians about this. I know, I'm as shocked as you. And the truth is that all our politicians are globalist stooges. They are all puppets for the global cabal, for the crime syndicate, for the global mafia, for the Bilderberg, for the Davos, and for all these NATO, UN allied type people which are using the countries that they purport to represent. NATO doesn't represent America's interests. It doesn't help Americans or Americanism. It's globalism. NATO is using America as a weapon to prod Russia. That's the truth. And I apologise for my previous Black Lives Matter UK video where I got passionate and emotional knowing the facts about George Soros. Apparently that means I'm brainwashed. Knowing facts and being able to cite facts like WikiLeaks and DC Leaks makes you brainwashed, apparently. So I'm very, very sorry for knowing things. Obviously I know too much, and that's a big problem in today's society. In fact, I found myself having to apologise for things that are not my fault and for being oppressed quite a lot. We won't give the internet up. Basically, it's being too censored. We censor each other enough as it is right now in our societies to, you know, get on. If someone's had an emotional trauma, then we don't tend to bring it up that much because it might sort of bring back memories. And likewise, if someone is offended by slurs, let's say, because no one is offended by genocide these days, it's just slurs. If someone's offended by slurs, weak. If someone's offended by slurs, weak. If someone's offended by slurs, sorry, I can't say it without saying weak after it. Maybe I should give you a warning for trigger words. Maybe I should give you a social justice warrior hug and then say, oh, I'm very sorry, go to your safe space. Are you in your safe space? Right then we'll begin. Well, I can't say any words then, can I? Because the UN taking control of the internet means that political correctness becomes legislation. And it literally becomes hate crime and all the rest of it like it is becoming right now. So if I said political correctness is regressive, then I've committed a hate crime. That's racist, that's sexist, obviously. If I say that I don't agree with microchipping people, especially children, then that's racist, that's sexist, that's homophobic. If I say that basically I think that the global government is bad and global corporatism isn't a good idea, that is incredibly sexist of me. How dare I? And if I say that I don't like being beheaded and I'm not that keen on Muhammad, oh, that is so homophobic of me. Even though I'm gay, I am a self-hating gay. Awful, awful business. Grow up.